if the maid knows she's got clear time, the meat is treif, the milk is treif, the pizza is treif, the fish is treif, the dishes. Rav Moshe has a tshuva, Rav Moshe Feinstein Zeichel Levrach has a tshuva, and he says, if it wasn't bemazed, meaning they didn't on purpose leave the maid, because this was a case where they had a neighbor who was supposed to come in and cook for the kids and check and so on, so he called that not bemazed, and he said, b'di'evad, after waiting 24 hours, they could use the kalim again, because then it's only the rabbanan. But in the case of bemazed, you left the maid like that, the kalim are also treif. Not just the meat, not just the milk, not just the pizza, not just the fish. The kalim are also treif. And if it's China, you've got gahak tetzaris. How do you translate gahak tetzaris? Sarot mechutachot. Or ulai hukot. Big problems. So, watch out. Now,
So just a question. The maid that you have never does any cooking. Is only there to clean. The fact that she's in the house on her own,
that is a problem. That is a problem.
What did he ask?
What? He asked if she's never doing any cooking, but you leave her in the house alone, is it a problem? And I said, yes, it's a problem.
Sorry, the original question still was, what if you need to have? I mean, there are people...
Yes, so then you have to arrange with the neighbors who are going to be coming in and showing up. Now, there is a concept now, we're living in a different door. B'dor Chadash, you have hidden cameras all over the house. I'm not saying that they are sufficient, but maybe, it's certainly, it's evidence, but if she's a real smart maid, why is she working as a maid? But if she's real smart, then she knows how to get around it, but that would be something strongly to consider. But having the neighbors coming in and making unannounced visits, and they having keys, would be a big help.
It would be enough to lock the refrigerator.
Yes, now let's talk about locks. You have the lock, Skittle? Okay, I am a person who believes in Lamaisa. So what does it mean, Lamaisa? How many people are doing the Daf Yomi? Okay, no, it's all right. And then we're in Zvachim now, right? So right after Zvachim comes Menachos. And there's a parak in Menachos called HaKometz Rabbah. And that talks about tefillin and Sifrei Torah and mezuzahs and good stuff like that. And you will find out that the way they did it in the time of Chazal, you would start with a skin, and if you took the whole skin and you put it melach, salt, and kemach, barley flour, and then afatzim, tannic acid, and tanned the leather, on that you write Sfarim, Sifrei Torah, Nevi'im, and Ksuvim. If you split the skin in two pieces, one is the thin outer piece, and one is the thick inner piece. One is called klaf, and one is called duchsustus. So machlokas rishonim, which is the klaf and which is the duchsustus. Okay, so part of our group, which I call Anshe Emes, is trying to restore the concept of using klaf made with afatzim instead of what we use commonly made with lime, and using the klaf and the duchsustus appropriately. And anyway, somebody wanted to write a Tanakh. They wanted to write Torah, Nevi'im, and Ksuvim, and Tefillin and Mezuzahs, of course, on Me'ubad, on something that was made with Hafatzim, and he wanted it to be Avodas Yad, meaning that the turning of the drums and the putting in of the stuff is all done by hand. And it was available at that time, but not Avodas Yad. So I undertook to produce this for him, not for compensation. He paid for my rental of a car because I was schlepping out to Petach Tikva every day for a month. And he paid for the gas. I did not ask for any compensation because I don't do this for money. And I went out for every day for 3-4 weeks to Petach Tikva to make him the gvilim, the skins for his Tanakh. Now, when they make Avodas Yad there, they hire a yeshiva man or a kollel man to turn the drum. I'm an old man, I don't turn drums anymore. And then at night, he puts a chain on the crank, and he puts a padlock on the chain, and he goes home. Well, since it was my skins that I was in charge of, I needed a key. Who gave me the key? The balabas of the factory, who is a Mechal Shabbos B'Frasia. So that means that lock was worthless. So what did I do? I took tapes just like this and put them on the keyhole and on the chain and on the crane and on the side door, which nobody ever closed up except me. And then the guy couldn't get in and he complained about it. Because normally he would reach in and test the leather and who knows what. So that's another case of chosamas, and that shows you about the locks again. Okay. Now, we're making a lot of progress here, it looks like. So I can tell you some more war stories, unless I skipped a bunch of pages. Okay. Yes.
Regarding pizza delivery, I
Yes.
imagine, Rav, if someone would deliver pizza, it's not religious, Rav would not take it because it's very hard.
First of all, the last time that I had a pizza was in 1964.
Assuming your children or
Now,
grandchildren...
Lu Yitzur, that I would want to have the garlic bread, the pizza, whatever. Okay, so... Okay, you must have some kind of a chosim on it. Now, a glued, nice strong glue with the printed thing, which goes around the edge in such a way that they would have to tear it in order to exchange it. This is a siman which is most probably acceptable. I mean, anyone can print anything these days, it's true, but maybe we don't have to be choshish that they will. It would be nice if the mashgiach would sign every pizza, but it's not happening. But if you at least have that, you've done something. You've tried to do what God wants.
Again, a religious delivery person,
If it's a religious pizza store and it's a religious delivery man,
would not be required.
and then it's probably not required.
My question, what's the difference? I mean, what are you choshed for? In the delivery person, the non-religious person would suspect that he would switch to pizza, while the religious person would not switch to pizza.
That's the suspicion.
Why do you suspect?
Why would he? Okay, well, a religious person believes in the Torah.
Doesn't mean he's not looking to make money. I mean,
That's true. Part of the Torah is lifnei iver lo sitein mechshol. Before the blind, you shouldn't put a stumbling block. So, if he's truly a Torah observant person, then he won't do that. You're right. You could have somebody who will do it for money anyway. And if he's a choshed guy, then you can't trust him even if he's a Shomer Shabbos. Yes.
There's no way that a person who's not religious could make money out of it anyway, even if he wanted to.
Okay, let's not worry about the pizza. Let's talk about the butcher right now, okay?
I'm talking about the pizza.
I understand, but you see, we have when Chazal made a gezerah, generally speaking, we do not consider ourselves bigger or greater than Chazal, either in chokhmah, in wisdom, or in minyan, or in number. When they said b'minyan, when they said in the Sanhedrin, they took a vote and said 61 to 60, that you may not accept gvina, which was sent in the hands of an akum, without a chosem, then that's it. Now we take the case of Gilui and we'll take the case of Mayim Achronim. All right? The Rabbeinu Tam said you may use mashka, which is meguleh. What does it mean? It means I thought I might wake up in the middle of the night and I was thirsty. Right? So I put a glass of water by my nightstand and I left it uncovered. And of course I've got my bowl of Nagelwasser there, which I also left uncovered. And I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm dying of thirst. So I quickly wash Nagelwasser without leaving the bed, without going 4 amas, and without pretending that the whole house is like 4 amas, because those houses were little tiny houses, not like our big houses here. And I wash Nagelwasser and I reach over and I pick up that water and I'm just about to say Shakol Niyah B'dvaro, and I remember, wait a minute, snakes come along and drink the water. And they leave poison in the water, and therefore it's aser. Now, the question is, did Chazal make a gezerah, you may not drink gilui, or did they inform you of a definite health risk, which even goyim were makpid on, not to drink gilui because of the danger of the snakes? Now, don't laugh, there are snakes in Yerushalayim. One of my wife's friends has gorgeous pictures of a gigantic snake at the Kaisel, actually on the Kaisel Amaravi, a gigantic snake like this wide. How wide was it, Gittel? It was wide. All right, so there are snakes here. Rabbeinu Tam lived in France, and he didn't know about snakes. He said, we don't have these snakes here, you don't have to worry about it, you can drink it. The Vilna Gaon said, for every word of Chazal where they made a gezerah, where you know the reason, there are 100 reasons that you don't know about, and therefore you may not drink it ad hayom. So we, for instance, I didn't paskin the shaila myself, I didn't go through the inyan carefully, but our chevra does not drink it, we do not drink it, we do not have it in the house, we do not serve it. Mayim achronim. Mayim achronim is because of melach sedomis, a certain kind of salt from the Dead Sea, which they used during the meal, and it would get on their fingers because they didn't use knives and forks. It was minig avoseim biadehem, and at the end of the meal, they would have this salt on their eyes, and then guy would scratch his eye. The salt would get in his eye, and he would and so on, be blinded. So Chazal made a gezerah, you must wash mayim achronim, you must wash your hands prior to benching so that you will be able to go through the rest of the day and not go blind. Again, Rabbeinu Tam said, we don't have this kind of salt in our neighborhoods, therefore you don't have to wash mayim achronim. So, most Haredim will say, this is just a guess, most Haredim do a zecher l'davar. What does a zecher l'davar mean? The minimum of washing mayim achronim is up to the second knuckle. So if you just have this little tiny cup about half of the size of my hand and go like that, or maybe you have a little bit of Pepsi left in the end of your cup, and do that, you are doing at best a zecher l'davar. At worst, you are being gross and disgusting. If you want to do what Chazal said, you will wash up to your second knuckle, and if you want to do what the Vilna Gaon said, you will walk into the kitchen, and you will take the same natla that you used before hamotzi, and wash a revius on each hand, and some people make a bracha. Now, so the Talmidei Gaon paskin like the Gaon. Most of the other Charedim do a zecher l'davar. The Yekes and the Rabbi Chila used to be a Yeke. Don't wash mayim achronim at all. They paskin like Rabbeinu Tam. And who else paskins like Rabbeinu Tam? The ladies paskin like Rabbeinu Tam. How many ladies do you know who wash mayim achronim? There are a couple of cases, strange as it may seem, where the ladies go by a different rishon than the men. In other cases, haseba on Leil HaSeder, leaning on the night of the Seder. The Raviyah said, look, what haseba? We sit in chairs. What are you talking? Chayrus leaning. Where do you lean in one of these chairs? So he said there's no haseba required whatsoever. So ladies be karon paskin like the Raviyah, and men paskin that you need it. Yes?
How do you do haseba?
How do I do haseba? I have a nice armchair, and I lean on the arm. 1 year, and this is one of the reasons why I don't drink wine, the first year that I was married, my son, says Zrizim Magdimin LeMitzvahs. He was supposed to be born after Pesach. And we were living in New York. This was in 1974. And at that time, there was not a single bakery in the entire New York City that was makpid on Chodesh Chutz La'aretz. There was one in Monsey. There was one in Chicago. And there may have been part-time in Los Angeles and part-time in Baltimore. I'm not sure when they started. And that was it. New York City? No, it was not.
Hand matzah.
No, I'm talking bread.
Oh, bread.
Bread. Matzah is most of the time Yoshin. No, we're talking bread. He was supposed to be born after Pesach. He was born on Tu B'Shvat. The bris happened to be on Shushan Purim. He was a little bit quick to come out, but a little bit slow to reach weight. So, why am I telling you this whole story anyway? This is a senior moment. Wine, yes, okay.
The question was because the Gemara says you need a Kosher.
Okay, so wine. So he was born before Pesach. My mother, Aleh Sholem, died the first year I was married. And so she was not there that Pesach. And my mother, Aleh Sholem, she was a Yeke. She top to bottom cleaned the house, top to bottom cleaned the kitchen, and then I was the mashgiach. I came in from yeshiva. I covered everything with in those days we weren't so rich. You covered things with newspapers and with dry cleaning bags and stuff. Everything beautiful, so on and so forth. And that year she wasn't with us. And this Zariz he wasn't a bechor for Pidyon Ben, right? He was born in a cesarean section. So a cesarean section has no Pidyon Ben. But Lagabe Tanas Bechorim, the fast of the firstborn, there is a fast of the firstborn. So the minig is that if the son is too young, then the father is supposed to fast for him, or he quickly grabs a siyum. You know what we say? Now you see him, now you don't.